For a while now, I've been seeing videos pop up discussing self-shipping, also known as yume shipping. Considering I myself am a yume shipper, I thought I'd throw my own hat in. More specifically talking about non-sharing, as a non-sharer. I'm mainly taking inspiration from the videos by Fairy Draws and Ghosty Boo for this one, so go check those out. Now I know I just threw a lot of words at a lot of people who might not understand, so let's start off with the terminology that you'll be seeing for this video. What is self-shipping? Self-shipping, or yume shipping, is a term to describe those who ship oneself with a character. The term self-shipping is a bit more literal with this, using the term self in its name. Meanwhile, the term yume comes from the Japanese word for dream. The meaning the term yume joshi translates into dreaming girl, but people prefer the term yume shipping as a gender-neutral term for it. Self-shipping isn't solely romantic, which is very important to note. What are FOs? FOs, or fictional others, are characters that a self-shipper feels a certain way towards. Typically, it's romantic, but there's also platonic and familial. There are also a few other types of relationships that people can have with a fictional character, but I'm unsure if those have terms. Someone who self-ships with, let's say, Jack Skellington, would refer to him as an FO. Another term I've seen is fictional crush, but I'm unsure if the two terms are interchangeable. Sharing. Sharing is the act of sharing an FO with other people or other fictional characters. Like, if two people liked the same character and were open to discussing their self-ships with said character, it would be considered sharing. If you recognize the character or the self-ship on screen, you might know me better as Static Shipstation on Tumblr, or Max Static on Bluesky. Totally not plugging those in the video so you can follow me. I don't know, go follow me. I've been self-shipping for around 10 years now, but was made aware of the term 6 years ago. All of this to say that I got a lot of experience under my belt with this stuff. I've been kissing fictional characters for so long that if my self-shipping history was a person, they'd be in 5th grade at this point. All of this to say that I've been self-shipping for a long time. However, in the past few years, I was made aware of the term non-sharer, a rather controversial term in the community and a controversial identity. One that I call myself. Max, what the hell is a non-sharer? As implied by the name, a non-sharer is someone who is uncomfortable with sharing their FO. To explain this in an easier way, I'll set up a situation. This is person A. They self-ship with Bowser. This is person B. They also self-ship with Bowser. A and B both talk about their own Bowser self-ships with each other. However, we also have person C who also self-ships with Bowser, but is uncomfortable with others talking about their own self-ships with Bowser. I'm one of those people, but I don't romantically self-ship with Bowser. I self-ship with an underpaid Aussie cashier named Rocko from the hit show Rocko's Modern Life. Often non-sharers get stereotyped as these people who will call for your head on a pike if you even breathe around their FO. But as someone who's involved with this community, this is the farthest from the truth. The worst someone will do is, block you, but that's really only if you two have interacted maybe once or twice, or you don't know each other at all. I don't know, man, if you get upset at some random person blocking you out of the billions of people on the internet, I think that might just be a you issue. I just want to let the audience know that from this point I kind of gave up writing a script, so at this point I'm probably going to be either repeating my words, rambling, or just saying a lot. I think an important thing to talk about when talking about non-sharers is the fact that, we don't hate you for self-shipping with this character. I don't think I could ever hate you for finding the same appeal that I do in a character. However, it's just uncomfortable for that to exist in the same space as me. I don't feel uncomfortable with you existing, I feel uncomfortable with you existing around me. If that makes sense and doesn't make me sound like a complete douchebag. There are plenty of reasons that people can be non-sharers. The most popular that I've seen, or the most common that I've seen, is someone is fictiosexual. Fictiosexual is the term where people are sexually or romantically attracted to a fictional character. It's not really something that they can control, and isn't something that they can help. Another reason I've seen is that the character is extremely personal to the self-shipper. This is something that I'd say I am in regards to non-sharing. The characters that I am non-sharing with are typically extremely personal to me and helped me out during terrible, awful times. Despite me explaining why there might be some reasons why someone might be non-sharing, I really want to drive the point home that non-sharers don't owe you an explanation for their boundaries. really, that's what non-sharing is. It's a boundary. You don't have to understand it, you just gotta respect it.
People get built different. We don't need to figure it out, we just need to respect it.
In this part of the video, I want to discuss more of how to make yourself comfortable in the self-ship community as a non-sharer, if you think that you're a non-sharer. This part of the video will be discussing how to state your boundaries, how to, well, discuss things with certain people, how to block tags, etc., etc. Just an important note, I'm primarily talking about this as someone who posts mostly on Tumblr when it comes to my self-ship stuff, but I do think that most of the self-ship community is just on Tumblr, so I think that that's an important distinction to make. For some websites, I don't know if you can block tags, I don't know how to block tags, so I don't know, go somewhere else if you want to figure out non-Tumblr stuff. The easiest way to make this well known that you are a non-sharer is by putting it in your user boxes /DNI banner. A DNI banner is just kind of something that you put under your main post in order for people to know what you want to interact with and who you're comfortable interacting with, and just general stuff like that. As a side note, sometimes when I post on my Blue Sky about my Rocko self-ship or any other self-ship that I'm uncomfortable sharing, in little brackets on top of the post, I'll put non-sharing. Of course, you could always just block the person, but if this is someone that you've interacted before in the past, or a mutual that you really like, try looking through their tags, because they might tag all of their ship content with that character with a specific tag. Oh my god, my thing fell! If you're uninformed about what a ship tag is, just know that it's usually what people use to tag specific ships and self-ships with the character. For example, my ship tag for Rocko x Max Hardy is Hardy Rama, and typically I will tag all of my posts with this to ensure that if someone is uncomfortable with seeing Hardy Rama, that they can just simply block the tag instead of having to block me as a whole. To filter tags on Tumblr, go into Settings, scroll down until you can see the section Content You See, and go to Filter Tags. Copy and paste whatever tag that you want blocked in there. Now you can freely scroll throughout this person's Tumblr and not see that content anymore. I've also seen other people kind of just ask people who don't tag their self-ship stuff to start please tagging it, and every time the person has responded well. But, you know, for whatever reason, if they didn't, then just proceed with blocking. That's not a mutual or a follower that you want to keep. And what I think is the most important thing to keep in mind throughout all of this is never, ever, ever attack or harass other people who share the same FO. Even if they do make you uncomfortable, even if it upsets you to see it, do not attack them. They are not going out of their way to hurt you. But Max, you might say, what if I'm someone that isn't a non-sharer that does want to make non-sharers comfortable? Well, you can follow all the instructions before. Make sure to tag your ships properly, make sure that in private settings you politely ask if they're comfortable with sharing that said ship, etc., etc. After all, sometimes non-sharers are comfortable with really only sharing their self-ship with other people, or other people that they're specifically close to. Communication really is key when you become a non-sharer. Talking with others and letting them know that you're uncomfortable with something is practically a part of the experience. As someone who has had to do that a few times before in the past, it's not that easy, but you get used to it over time. Being a non-sharer, I'm not gonna try to, amp it up as this thing that everyone who does it suffers more than Jesus suffered on the cross, but it is something that's rather hard to go through, and it's something that I've sadly not seen a lot of people be empathetic towards. Yeah, sure, I can say all day that Rocko is my husband and all that, but the moment that I see content where he's shipped with another character, it genuinely brings me such distress and makes me upset. And while there are ways to help cope with this, as in treating your own version of your FO as a separate version of the character you just saw, it's still not easy by any means. And I really hate this concept that some people have run along with, that non-sharers are inherently selfish and just choose to be like this. I would rather be someone that's comfortable with watching Rocko's modern life, because there are episodes where he does get a love interest, and sometimes it's just hard for me to watch. And it's not like I hate these episodes, nor do I hate the characters involved with it. In fact, I think Sheila and Claudette are really fun characters, and that's what kind of sucks. These aren't characters that I can just hate on a whim. I do care about them. And the thing is that I just kind of have to tell myself that Rocko is still important to me, and that they're just not canon. I also just kind of hate this concept of someone staking claim on a character. I've seen this thrown around a few times, and I've even seen people in the community discuss it, but the concept that, like, claiming a character as your own is even a fucking thing in the self-ship community is horrible. Like, we're not brands. We don't need to, like, claim one character. Somewhat, and yeah, no, I do have associations with certain self-ships and certain characters, like, every time I think about Jiminy Cricket, I think about my friend Barry, and there are other examples of this. But, like, to say that non-sharers are staking a claim on a character and claim that no one else can self-ship with them is just a fucking lie. It's a hilarious fucking lie. Like, just because of the fact that I state that I'm non-sharing with Rocko doesn't mean I want nobody ever in existence of time to ever look at this character the same way again. Yeah, I like being known as the Rocko guy, but I also think that other people are allowed to exist as someone who self-ships with Rocko. Do I want them around me? No. I don't want people self-shipping with Rocko interacting with me. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that they're still valid. It's just that you're valid from a distance, for a lack of better terms. What I mean to say is that you're valid regardless. But, like, just stay away from me. Self-shipping, in my opinion, is a beautiful way to express yourself and a beautiful way to heal yourself. And I don't think that we should be barring people from feeling certain things about it. Self-shipping is extremely personal, at least to me. And even though that there are some people that just do it as a hobby, for a lot of people out there, these relationships are just as real as any other relationship. And that's important to acknowledge when coming into the self-ship community, is that not everyone's doing it to have a funny little hear me out cake moment. Sometimes people are doing it because it genuinely helps them in life. For an example, I was binge watching the entire series of Rocko's Modern Life with one of my friends a while ago, back when we were still, watching it for the first time together, and the episode Icecapades means a lot to me. If you don't know, the context for the episode is that Rocko is slowly losing his vision and has to go to the eye doctor to go get himself a prescription. I'd expected that the episode would end with Rocko magically regaining his vision, as most episodic series did. But no, in the end of the episode, he confirmed that he got fitted for contacts, not removing his visual impairment. And this meant a lot to me as someone who was struggling with the fact that my vision was slowly going. Every day I kind of wake up and it's a bit of a fear of mine that one day my vision will be worse than it was the day before. So this episode not only, it meant a lot to me, is what I'm trying to say. And it even made me tear up at some point. There are a few episodes of Rocko's Modern Life that have actually done this. Rocko is an extremely relatable character to me, and that's why he means so much to me, even if we haven't been self-shipping for that long. And as for helping me, every time I struggle with homework, the way that I end up finishing it is just by promising myself that I'm going to watch Rocko afterwards, and it somehow works every single time. Add this with some body doubling and I get homework done relatively quick. Most of the time my body is a machine that turns meaningless tasks to pure medieval torture. I wonder if I can find that meme for this. But with the promise of seeing Rocko, my brain just activates in a way that it never has before. Self-shipping isn't just something that a lot of people do to be silly and funny, and by the way, if you do it to be silly and funny, you're entirely valid, and I hope that you have a nice day. But with some people, it's genuinely something that helps them wake up in the morning. It helps them do things that they wouldn't normally be able to do on their own. FOs are so fucking magical, dude. There's just this fictional guy in my head, and he makes me do things that I don't normally do. It's the reason why I'm making this fucking video. Another example of this is that I have been struggling to make art that I am really proud of recently, and then yesterday, I don't know what happened, I woke up and I produced not one, not two, but 3 fully shaded pieces with Hardy Rama. I don't know what happened, man. I was just built different that day, and today I'm making an entire fucking video of me talking about this guy. And with all this yapping, with all this blabbering, with all this fucking talking, chit-chatting in mind, is it really any question as to why people are anti-sharing? Why some people feel uncomfortable with the concept of, yeah, someone else ships with this character, or even another fictional character is paired off with this character? I can also understand the opposite, too, to have this excitement for this thing that means so much to you, and to be able to share it with someone else. But like all people, we're all built different, and we all have our limits and our own approaches to these things. Sometimes something is just far too personal to share with someone else, but sometimes you just get so excited over this thing that makes you happy that you can't help but share it with other people. Regardless, you love this character. You love this FO of yours. And even if it's just done for the sillies and done for maybe mental health reasons, this character means something to you. Regardless. And I feel like as a community we can all unite on this love of fictional characters, because they do mean that much to us. And just to say that one variant of this is more valid than the other would be absolute fucking horseradish. Poppycock, if you will. But I just am so happy that self-shipping is slowly starting to become more known, even though this does come with its flaws, like people are more aware of it, therefore can bully us more because they know of our existence, or because there are people now gatekeeping self-shipping. The one good thing that people can know of this is that, one, you're not alone on being someone that's attracted to fictional characters, and two, that, well, we're getting new people. We're getting new people who understand us, and that's good. All I hope is that people that are coming into this community understand and respect the boundaries of others, and of people like me, who wanted to make this video coming from the perspective of a non-sharer, because a lot of the videos I saw were from the perspective of sharers, who were absolutely supportive, by the way. But I feel like as a non-sharer, I wanted to provide my own perspective on non-sharing that isn't just defending it and being like, well, just respect about boundaries. I wanted to give you an insight on it, on what it's like being a non-sharer. Even though most of this video was just me rambling about how I love a fictional wallaby with all my heart. But yeah, this video has been fucking everywhere, so I think this is my cue to just wrap it up in a nice little bow. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. I'm saying a lot, my bad. I know this video was shorter than my other ones, but I kind of just wanted to get this out there. And if you are curious in more of my self-ship content, I will link some of my self-ship pages in the description if you are curious. And I hope that you have a nice day.